and welcome, and thank you very much for joining me. Today I am testing out a new headset with a microphone right next to my mouth. So please let me know how this sounds. If it's too loud, am I right in your ear? Anyway, today we first of all have to be quite quiet. Secondly, we are working on this BMW 1M. Is it 1M? M1? And 1M, I think. And we're turning this into a fully leaded masterpiece. Today we have just 45 minutes, so let's crack on. So, as always, we are going to make sure that the car is in grid, make sure the scale is correct, make sure it's facing the right direction, so it's facing, this is the front, we're facing right in this direction. If we create a cube, this shows us that the car is just under 2 meters. That's good. So that looks all good. If we just check the structure of the file, this looks good. So we're going to begin by duplicating this collection. This will be the reference, or we can just call that BMW 1M stock. And then let's hide that for now. Then this one we are going to select all, go to edit mode, reveal hidden, select a chunk out the middle, delete vertices, select by edge, select those, delete those edges, select this area here, separate that, select the back stuff there, move that to a new collection, call that RR, which of course stands for rear. Let's move this collection below that top one there. Now let's select all and let's clear parenting. Now we're just going to find the center of one of these wheels, this wheel to be precise. Let's select the tire there, and then we can select everything which uses that material, and then we can separate that. Select that wheel, select all, tries to quads, select that, put the cursor to selected. Now let's put the origin to 3D cursor. Now let's select all, let's parent that to that. Now if we go into that collection, we can select that and then make sure that the Y is set to 0. And now we'll have both the wheels in the same position. And we can just compare the front to the back wheel arch. Looks like the back is slightly wider. So what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly, let's see, we've got some engine stuff there. Very basic. Okay, what we're going to do is grab everything but the wheel. And we're going to select the wheel, move it to a new collection, call it FR wheel, and put that below the rear collection. Let's hide it. Let's select that wheel, delete it. Now select all and delete. Now reveal everything. Is that what it's called? Reveal, hide, and then reveal hidden. Oh, sorry, show hidden. That's interesting. Okay, now we can select an object, select all, go to edit mode, reveal hidden, select all. Let's go to bisect, and then let's reset all of these to 0. Let's reset these to 0 and then change that one to 1. Then clear outer. That's good. So the front is ready, and we go to the rear. We'll do the same thing with the wheels. i.e. hide everything but the wheels. Now we'll delete, actually let's bring it back in again, let's select all, let's clear parenting, let's do that again, hide everything but the wheel. Now let's try this. Okay, let's select this wheel, let's delete that, select this wheel, move that to a new collection, call that RR wheel. Let's push that rear wheel just below the front wheel. Let's hide that. Select all. Now let's bring everything back in. Now let's select all. Edit mode, reveal, select all, bisect. Go straight down like that. Reset these to 0. Reset these to 0. Set that to 1. And this time we're going to clear inner. Now what we can do is we can bring in the front. Let's make sure that the cursor is at world origin, and let's make sure our pivot point is at 3D cursor. We're going to zoom right in, we're going to select the rear, and we're going to go scale X, and let's get those two edges as close to each other as possible. So scale X, let's go out in X until they match. That's pretty good. Okie doke. Now let's select the front and rear fender. Let's join them. Do you know what? I think that I reduced the rear rather than increasing the front. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There wasn't much in it. Generally, I prefer to make the smaller part bigger, just so it's wider. But there's not much in it, so let's carry on. Right, and let's select all. Tries to quads. Let's increase that to 180. Let's just have a little play with these settings here. So at 1.2, we get these results. 1.4, get these results. Let's just slide that up, see what we get. So we're going to probably delete all this. So we can ignore that. We're looking more around what's going on here. So if we reset that to 0, we go to 1, 1.4, 2, back to 1, 0. I think 0 is actually probably the best result. So let's leave it at 0. Now let's make sure auto merge is set on. Snapping is on as well. Let's see, do we bring the front one down or the back one up? I think we're going to move the back one up. So we're going to move this up to match the front one. So let's snap that to there. We'll do a little bit of a cleanup there to get rid of any triangles or any rogue vertices. Slide that one down, delete that one, delete, 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 delete those, delete those, delete that one, and let's just fix this up a little bit here. Get rid of those triangles. Let's slide these over. Oops. Let's grab these as well. Slide those over. Slide those. Let's select all. Merge by distance. Distance. Merge by distance. That's fluent French. In case you're wondering. Distance. And let's get rid of that triangle. Right. Let's snap those. Merge that one. Oops. That one to there. Let's delete that. So what we probably want to do is start thinking about start thinking about how we're going to merge the front to the back. So let's see, we can get rid of some of these higher bits here. So let's delete all of this stuff here and these. Let's get rid of these bits. So this microphone and headset is not the most pleasant because it is, I can't hear anything and I'm very conscious about my talking, so I will certainly not be using these headphones to do this again. Just a FYI, FYI, FIY, FYI, FY for your info. For your info sounds a little bit more aggressive, doesn't it? For your info, that sounds a bit more attitude. So I think that's why people say FIY, no, FYI, FIY, no, FYI. Gee, right, let's get back to this, shall we? What we're going to do is we're going to do the center line, FYI. So let's select all this, trust to quads, see if there's anything we can do to improve this one. Yeah, definitely, that's better. Let's slide this up, see if we get any further improvements. Something's going on over here. Okay, let's leave that at 1. 1. Let's go to the back. Oops, let's hide that little spoiler thing. Select all. Let's have a look what we can do here. I think we're going to keep that around 1-ish. 1. Is that good? I think we're good. Let's try 1.2. No, let's keep it at 1. Okay, that's good. Right. So let's work to this edge over here. Select all, merge by distance. Let's just fix this up a little bit. Get rid of these triangles. And this can go to there. That can go to there. And let's work to that edge. Yeah, let's work to that edge. Let's get rid of these. Oops. Let's get rid of these. Okay, now let's fix up this edge here. Get rid of these rogue vertices. Let's merge those at center. Oops. Merge that one to there. Merge that one to there. Okay. Now let's join that to that. Let's add a mirror modifier to that. Then let's turn on clipping on there. Now let's do merge by distance again because I only did it on one part, so that's good. Right, let's add some faces from front to back. Okay. So the front to back matches up pretty well. They're pretty close. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to just slide these over and we'll rebuild those once we're ready. So let's slide those over like that. And we will rebuild this flange when we're ready as well. So for now, let's delete these ones. Okay. And then let's try adding a subdivision modifier here. See what results we get. Okay, let's delete, well, let's just move that down, get it out of the way. Okay, so what we're going to do, I think we're going to raise the center up like this, so it goes up. And so it's not just shooting up like that. just so we get a nicer proportion. So let's grab these, scale them in Y, and then let's go up something like that. Let's slide those over with auto merge on. Then let's have a look. How does that look? A little bit funny. Let's add a loop cut here at the back. Give it a little bit of curvature there. Then let's add a loop cut there. Let's see, let's just grab these and then scale that in X, like so. Then with these, let's just delete these, and we will be rebuilding these as well, so we could just we can delete these, we don't need those or those, and we will likely, well, we will rebuild those as well, so let's just delete those for now. Let's join that to there. Let's have a look now. Okay, put some wheels on there for context. Looks a little bit funny, that. Let's see, how can we fix this? It's got a little bit too much crown or bow or curvature in there. That looks a little bit better, I think, actually. Let's drop that one as well. Let's drop that one like that. So I think what we want is maybe something more like that. Oops. How's that look? That looks better. All right, let's go with that. Or maybe we could drop, if we could drop the back a little bit, that would help. But how do we do this? Let's see, shall we? Okay. If that could drop a little bit like that. Let's see, let's grab all of these, select that one, and scale that in Z. Just a little bit like that. But let's undo that and let's turn off auto merge, and then let's actually do that again, but this time select some of these vertices on the side here like this. Let's select that one, and again let's scale. Actually, no, let's grab that wing as well, and let's just try that again. So scale Z, oops, scale Z. We've missed the brake light at the back there, or the chimsel as it's known. Well, actually, is that the chimsel? I think the chimsel's only in the glass. Central high mounted stoplight. Right, scale Z. There we go. Now we can grab this one. Oh, sorry, these. Move those down a little bit like that. Grab these and move those down as well. And we've got a nice line there, I think. That looks like it's. It doesn't. All right. Trister quads, mirror, clipping on. Okay, it's looking good. What time is it? Okay, 15 minutes down. Right, okay. Let's move these out a little bit, like so. Let's move these in and these out like that. So the widest point should be at 0. Sorry, y is 0. Then towards the back here, sort of fans out, but it should go in a bit further. So let's move these, snapping off, move those in a bit further. Then let's grab that one and push it in a little bit to accentuate this. From front view, let's just adjust these a little bit as well so they're not zigzagging so much. There we go, like so. This one can perhaps come out a touch. That can certainly go out. That can go out. That can go like so. What we can do here is we can distribute these a little bit better. And okay, I'm happy with that. Okay. So those. Good. Let's have a look. So slide those like that. Okay, so now let's isolate that for a sec. And then let's move that corner out a little bit like that. And then slide this one over just a touch like that. And then this one probably wants to aim towards, so that's going to be the support loop there. So just leave that where it is, but this one should probably aim for somewhere like there. Delete that. Let's slide this over. Okay, that was dipping a little bit too much there. So that one looks like it could be, or wants to aim, actually it probably wants to aim for here somewhere. Okay, let's see. Let us add, this one probably wants to aim for here. Then let's add a loop cut here. And join that to that one. And move that one up. That one across. Those across. Just so they're fanning out a little bit nicer. Let's just straight line from here to here. Slide those over like that. And probably want another loop cut in there. Let's hide that for a sec. Loop cut in there. That one will aim for there. Like so. Now let's have a look at this line here, the outer edge. This one, that could probably go in a touch. That one can go forward. There we go, we've got a nice line there. This one looks like it dips just a touch. There, looks a bit flat there. That's better. Looks like it dips there a bit. So let's move those up. Let's move that one up a touch like that. Let's grab that one, slide it up slide that one down, move that one up just a touch, maybe back down a bit. This one up and across. Let's have a look from top view. And we probably want to see if we can put that on a plane. Let's grab that one and that one. Oops, not that one. Now we planarize those. Let's see what, let's do it before and after. That's before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. So we're going to keep that. The only thing we're going to do here is let's grab that one and let's rotate that slightly in this view, and I think that's it. I think we're good with that. Let's rebuild that flange on the edge of that one. We're just going to go straight down, I think. So straight down, add a face in there, and let's go to this edge. Let's fix these up a little bit. Okay, so we just need a support loop there where we had it before, something like that. Then we can join that to that. Let's fix these up a little bit like so. Got a triangle there, so let's just hide that for a sec. Don't think it really matters about that triangle, but let's fix it anyway. And then we've got one there as well. Let's fix that like so. And this is looking okay here on the front. There we go. Let's have a look now. What we're going to do is we're going to grab that edge there. We're going to separate it, which actually just duplicates it. And then we're going to move it down in X. And then we're going to aim the fender for that edge loop there. So let's have a look. So we're going to be aiming this edge here for it. So if we just get that close to there, and then in top view, move that down in X. Now we'll be aiming this edge at that curve or loop, edge loop, that lonesome edge loop. Right, let's put subdivision modifier on there. Let's fill this in a little bit. I don't remember deleting this. I think that was a, must have done that accidentally. Okay, so let's now line that up with that. Let's turn off the grid. And let's move this over in Z. Let's move this down. So it's actually, we're aiming at that corner, so we don't need the flange for now. So let's delete that. There's a support loop there, which we can delete. Or let's just keep for now. Let's go from there to there. Okay, and now let's go to the rear here. My dear, have no fear. Right, so we're just matching up the edge of this fender to to the edge of the bonnet line, which we've just extrapolated. So where's, okay, it's quite low there, isn't it? Oh, it's very low there, okay. Just going to scale these down in Z, and we can do the same thing here. Scale in Z, and these as well. Okay, and hopefully that looks good. So this line, let's make sure these flow nicely actually. That's quite important. This is as close we get to a body side really, so it's quite an important part of the process. And then these will go down, and let's see, so we've got that edge there aiming towards there, so that's good. So let's see, oh no, that should line up with that one. And now we just go, and let's get rid of that supporting loop actually after all. And let's get rid of these triangles there. That should be there. Okay, right, now let's close this off a little bit here. So there's the edge that we're going to be aiming with now. Let's put subdivision modifier back on. Slide those down and across that one as well. Excuse me one moment while I just get a drink of water. I very much hope that was muted. Okay, and right, where was I? So yeah, this line, this has to match up with that. So let's start by going isolating it. That's the line. Let's grab that one as well. So in top view, we're not a million miles off. And side view. So we got quite a nice line. Then let's just grab it. Oops, hold on. Goes in a bit there. Side view again. And we probably want that to be planar from at least there to there. So select those, put them on a plane. And we've got a little bit more curvature here than we do on that line there. see if we can add some more curvature on the inner line. Okay, let's try that again. So let's select those, planarize. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's bring its friend over, and then let's line it up nicely there. Let's actually bring that one a little bit closer. Let's fix those. Okay, so that goes up and then back down again. Looks like it dips a little bit there, so let's just fix that. So we're going to grab these, and we're going to use the, what's this tool called? Shear tool. So we're going to go up just a touch like that. Looking good in top view as well. Okay, now we can just slide this one up a little bit as well, and then that one. And then let's slide that one up, and that one, move that one over a bit like that, move that one over, and then in top view, just to make sure that the flow is looking good. And by that I mean the relationship between its two closest neighbors. Where's that one? That one is massively undercut, so we'll pull that one out there like that. And then this one here, that can come out, that can come out, that can come out like that. Subdivision modifier back on. Let's have a look at that. Okay, let's fix some of these. So this flow, right, let's just adjust these. So I'm just looking at the relationship between neighboring vertices and the edge flow. So if we look at these, there's like a nice constant fanning out. If we look at these, this looks like this is quite curved, and then it goes a little bit flat here. And if we look at that in top view as well, so this can certainly be popped out a little bit like that. That can go out a little bit like so. And if we bring in the front and rear bumpers as well, just to make sure that this line flows into that one, continues, and then flows into this one, which I think we're doing. We've got a pretty good job. Got a pretty good job, doing a pretty good job of that. This one here looks like it gets a little bit wide, but I think eventually what we'll do when we're happy with this line is we'll add a loop cut in the middle there just to sharpen that ever so slightly. But I don't think we're quite ready yet, so let's have a look. What we're going to do actually at this stage is put the rear collection into the reference, rename that one BMW 1M. We're going to delete that collection, and what it will actually do is just take everything out and keep the, so it will just delete the collection but not the contents. So what we're going to do here is we're going to select this empty, which is called scalar. We're going to put that scalar empty into the scene collection. Make sure that's the item that's currently selected. Now select all, and then let's set parent to that object. Now what we can do is if we select these three components, isolate them, if we go into top view, turn subdivision modifier on, if we select scalar, we can now scale this in Y. Well, let's go to something like 0.1 extreme. And now what we can do is we can make micro adjustments. And because it's scaled like this, it exaggerates the geometry. So if we can make it, if we work in this view and we make it look good in this view, then we are guaranteed that it will look good when it's not scaled. And I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. So it's not so good if you're doing circular things, although I guess this does look exaggerated. So if we just reset that back to 1, and what we're going to do actually is let's distribute these evenly across here and these evenly across there. Let's do the same thing over here. It's all about distribution and flow, just like any business really, distribution and flow. Okay, not that I know anything about business, or that this is business. I suppose it is business. It's not show business. It's Vertex business. None of your business. Right. Let's see it. Let's make sure. Well, it looks like we've got 5 minutes left. Okay, we will have to continue this tomorrow because I need to get ready for work. Let's see. Let's make these flow nice. So what I'm doing here is this edge loop here from front to back. The shape of this is curved in this direction. So as we move up, this should echo that, which it's doing here very nicely. Side view, same thing. But then as we move along towards the top, not so much. So we're just adjusting these just so we've got a nice edge flow. So this one here, we certainly wouldn't want it to flow like that. So in this particular case, because it's higher up here in the middle, this is going in the opposite direction. So we just got to make sure that this flow is sort of progressive and looking nice. So it's going in this direction, then it slightly peels off at the center line, which is there, the red line, and then it goes back round towards the back. Just going to improve the flow a little bit there. I think that's looking okay. Let's reset that back to 1. Put the subdivision modifier on. Let's bring everything else back in. Bring the wheel back in. Let's quickly isolate the wheel. Front wheel. Isolate that. And then let's select a component. And let's delete this subdivision modifier for a second. Actually, no. Hold on. Right. Let's select this wheel. Let's add a mirror modifier to that. Let's select the scalar as the object that we're mirroring about. Now let's select all, and then let's go copy to selected. That's good. And now let's bring everything else back in. And let's have a quick look. Let's quickly go into the shader for this, and what we can do to fix this is delete that. So I think that's a pretty good start for just under 45 minutes. And tomorrow, in tomorrow's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to fix and build this wheel, because the wheel that actually came in was a polygon model, which was this one. No, it was not. The wheel that came, what's going on here? Ah, there we go. This is the wheel that came in. This is the wheel that came in. So with polygons, there's no subdivision modifier added on there. So it's quite a blocky model. So what we're going to look at is turning this into something more lifelike. So this is one I've started, but I will go back to the beginning tomorrow, and we're going to look at using modifiers to work with just one spoke. We're going to turn it around. We're going to use a bevel modifier for these corners, and then we're going to look at how to go from something here which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spokes to a pattern with which is split into 5. So we're going to go from 8 to 5 and see how to make that blend in seamlessly. And of course, yeah, we're going to finish that off. We're going to try and add a little bit more realism to these lights. And then eventually I think we're going to look at doing a little bit of animation on this as well. We're going to add a little bit more realism to these. But yeah, for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And please, if you have any questions, any comments, make them. All right. Have a brilliant day. Thanks. Okay, bye. How do we turn this off?